Good morning, everyone. My name is Nathan Gore. Welcome to the presentation of my Master in Environmental Management project, Biochar Applications to Manage Mine Revegetation and Repurpose Beetle Kill. Before we discuss the innovations explored in this project, we must first understand their needs. Our modern time is riddled with environmental issues. Just some of these wicked problems include mining-related impacts, the changing climate, and the rampant spread of beetle-killed trees and wildfires. The world is and will continue to be dependent on mined resources. People drive cars, ride bikes, and build houses with metals extracted from the earth. Everything that humans have ever developed is derived from materials that were either extracted or grown. Because of this unavoidable need, there will always be lands impacted by mining and thus lands in need of reclamation. Human activities across the planet also contribute to the global scale issue of climate change. Everyday actions such as driving, heating buildings, or using the agricultural system contributes to climate change. Furthermore, the warming climate has expanded the reproductive range of bark beetles. While bark beetles are a natural part of many ecosystems, climate warming has expanded the pest geographic range beyond natural constraints. This has resulted in extensive fuel buildups in need of removal. To say that Colorado has its share of environmental issues is an understatement. The state has more than 1,200 miles of acid rock drainage impacted waters and around 85 million acres of beetle-killed forest. However daunting these issues are, they all share in common one exciting factor: a potential solution. Biochar is a carbon-based soil amendment that can be produced from biomass waste such as beetle kill. It can then be used for treating soils and waters impacted by mining, while also sequestering carbon. The amendment has demonstrated an incredible capacity to help store plant-available nutrients, retain waters in barren soils, and concentrate heavy metals to expedite their removal. Early forms of biochar were utilized by ancient societies thousands of years ago. The soils treated with these amendments are now some of the most fertile and carbon-dense in the world. Modern biochar can be commercially produced and shipped practically anywhere, and some of the industry leaders are located in the heart of Colorado. The purpose of this MEM project was to explore the applicability of biochar as a potential innovation for mine restoration, beetle kill management, and climate change mitigation. This MEM project was completed in two major parts. First, I explored the uses of biochar that may be viable for 3 western Colorado mine sites. I also conducted market research and built relationships between industries to initiate repurposing the beetle kill at Monarch Pass into biochar for use at these mines. Concurrently, I also conducted an original laboratory experiment where soils from the Ben Butler mine in the famous Bonita Peak mining district were treated with biochar and compost. This project began with the goal to aid Monarch ski area in their beetle kill management. Throughout my year of economic research, I identified a potential partner in Biochar Now, a well-known biochar producer and industry leader located in the Front Range of Colorado. Monarch annually piles and burns their beetle kill on site at the resort's parking lot. Managers at the ski area have expressed interest in repurposing this biomass into biochar as opposed to burning. A highlight of this project was building a relationship between the ski area and Biochar Now. This young relationship may lead to a pilot program in years to come. While we were unable to organize a biochar operation with the Monarch beetle kill this year, a future operation does seem feasible. The photos here show beetle kill being burned on site at Monarch ski area or alternatively being processed at the Biochar Now facility. Throughout this year, I was given a great opportunity to build a relationship with the Homestake Mining Company, who is conducting very impressive and important reclamations and water quality improvements at the Pitch Mine reclamation area. This inactive uranium mine is located just 42 short miles from Gunnison. Thanks to collaborations with Homestake, the site will be a great learning laboratory for Western students. During a site assessment, I was shown a portion of the mine that had just received a substantial erosion control prescription. Though barren after this earth moving, the site will be revegetated with hydromulch, fertilizers, native seeds, and potentially biochar in the fall of 2021. Homestake has welcomed Western students to add biochar to their revegetation efforts as part of a pilot program. In the fall of 2021, students working with the Western Alliance for Restoration Management will be able to utilize the framework developed in my project to move excess biochar from the Ben Butler mine to the pitch mine. This strategy would be modeled after the Hope Mine Biochar project, which is regarded as the most successful federally sponsored biochar restoration. The top left photo shows the hillside of the Hope Mine before treatments were added. The next photo to the right shows how successful revegetation was just 1 year after the biochar application. Additionally, I explored the potential use of biochar at the Los Ochos mine and the Standard mine. These are two distinct inactive mines located just miles from Gunnison. Biochar could potentially be utilized to revegetate waste rock piles and control erosion at the Los Ochos mine. The Standard mine could potentially be treated with biochar to improve effluent water quality leaking from the mine portal. Pursuing restorations at either of these sites could be executed through future MEM or MS projects. My final report explains the economic incentives, such as carbon offsets, and logistics, such as trucking and other expenses, that would be associated with biochar-based solutions at these sites. Per the second goal of this MEM project, I designed and performed an original laboratory experiment to explore how biochar, compost, and a mixture of the two amendments would affect soils from the Ben Butler mine. Replicated column tests were used to study how the amendments would impact pH, the buildup of plant-available nutrients, and the leaching of heavy metals in the soils through simulated precipitation events. Here, you can see a brief storyline of the experiment. In the top left corner are my soils and biochar after lab preparations. In the top right are some of my column tests during one of the simulated rain events. The bottom left shows my 36 replicates resting between leachings, and the bottom right shows the leachate samples being analyzed for metal fluctuations. In this study, I ended up producing data for 22 different analytes, which include nutrients and metals commonly found in most soils and thus most Western mine sites. Some of my most impactful results of my experiment are shown here. pH was found to slightly increase in samples with biochar, compost, and mixed treatments. The final levels show that in just 28 days, biochar can aid in treating acidic waters. Phosphate concentrations increased in samples given the mixed treatment. Biochar alone did not seem to influence these concentrations, while compost alone did. However, compost and biochar together had the greatest buildup. In most cases, biochar by itself did not have incredibly prominent impacts. The findings generally show that while compost provides nutrients to the barren soils, the addition of biochar significantly helps these nutrients remain in the soil. The same trends can generally be observed with most elemental metals, as the mixed treatments helped retain metals in the soils and reduce leaching. With these findings, future students or consultants have access to baseline data for how the soil amendments may influence mine-impacted soils. In this year of research, I found that the most promising ways for biochar-based strategies to become normalized will be through the success of smaller-scale pilot programs for beetle kill and mine management. Logistical challenges of larger-scale projects include acquiring funding for trucking the beetle kill to the biochar facilities and getting these proposed actions through the barriers of the NEPA process. The most simple, short-term plan of action is to pursue pilot programs with private industry partners such as the Homestake Mining Company and Monarch Ski Area. By implementing relatively small-scale biochar-based revegetations and repurposing the beetle kill at these respective sites, the successes will become case studies that can help influence larger-scale managements. I would like to acknowledge and thank many people who have helped make this project a reality. Thank you all for your time, and I now welcome your questions.